Thanks for joining me today. We are here at Whole Lifestyle Program. My name is Mona Cabrera and I'm the dietitian for the program. And I am talking today about the low carbohydrate diet and reasons why it may not be working for you. So every Tuesday I have a different nutrition topic, and so I want to thank you all for joining today. And so if you have any questions, do put them below. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please hit the subscription button. That way you'll get notifications when we're coming on live here. So on Friday I will be doing a cooking demonstration as well. Every Friday we have cooking, and it's at 2 p.m. as well. So let's talk about the low carbohydrate diet and why it may not be working. So first of all, there's a lot of evidence that a low carbohydrate diet can be a very effective way to lose body fat. Okay, so with any diet, sometimes people will stop losing before they reach their goal weight. So that's why I want to talk about some of the common reasons why you may not be losing weight, or you might feel like you're not losing weight on the low carbohydrate diet. So first of all, when you're losing fat, you may just not realize it. So weight loss is not a linear process, and it can be frustrating because we want it to be like this. But weight loss does go up and down. So if you were to jump on the scale, you may see the scale go down one day, and then you jump on the scale the next day, and the scale goes up. So that doesn't mean the diet is not working. So during the first week, of course, you're going to see a greater amount of weight loss. This is going to be the initial water loss. But then weight loss does slow down significantly after this initial phase. So, and if you just started lifting weights, getting in the gym and trying to build muscle, you're going to gain muscle. And so the number doesn't change right away on the scale because you're building muscle. So you may also be seeing fat loss, but the number is not changing on the scale. So some important things that you can do to monitor your progress is to take some measurements. Let's say your waist, your arms, your thighs. You can also put on a tight piece of clothing and then monitor if it gets looser on you. You can also take before pictures and after and check your weight loss that way. And you can also have a health provider do some body fat measurements like we do have here at our lifestyle program. So all these are indicators of weight loss. So that's very important as you go into your weight loss journey, is to have these measurements so you can track it versus just always looking at a number on a scale. So another reason why the low carbohydrate diet might not be working for you is that you're not cutting back enough. So some people are more sensitive to carbohydrates than others, and some people can eat more carbs than others and still see weight loss. So if you're eating on a low carbohydrate diet and you hit a plateau, we need to make adjustments. So sometimes you have to cut back a little bit more on carbohydrates and continue to eat plenty of foods from your lean proteins, healthy fats, and low vegetables. So oftentimes also when we're on a restrictive diet, it can lead to complications. So you always want to talk to your healthcare provider or your dietitian before you start something restrictive like a low carbohydrate diet. Another reason why the diet might not be working for you is that you are feeling stressed. So you may be eating the right way, you may be exercising, but that is not always enough. So our mental health is such an important pillar of when we want to lose weight. So stress keeps us in the fight or flight mode. It increases our stress hormones. So over time, keeping the stress hormone cortisol elevated will prevent weight loss. So that may be happening. So working on the mental health aspect is very important. So some things that are very helpful for people are to exercise. That really helps our stress levels. Meditation, maybe even lighting some candles in the evening and really going into a nice calming room with it. Doing a little bit more laughter, participating in a lot more laughter really helps our stress levels. Avoiding procrastinations. Man, when we procrastinate, it really shoots our stress levels up. So looking at how you are doing things and reducing procrastinations will definitely help with stress. And so when we are under this stress, those hormones, they do increase hunger levels, and we do crave unhealthy foods. So it's really important to look at our stress and our mental health when we're on a health journey here. Another reason why the low carbohydrate diet might not be working for you is that you're not eating enough nutritional foods. So when you're on a low carb diet and you're eating lower carbs, we do need to replace them with more healthy foods, lean proteins, and healthy fats. When we don't eat enough fats, when we're just eating protein, that is not healthy, and we will be hungry. So we definitely need to be replacing the carbohydrates with more nutritional foods. It's very important. Another reason we often see is that you're eating too many nuts. So nuts are a whole food. They are very healthy, filled with so many omega-3s and omega-6 and vitamins and minerals and fiber, but they are also high energy. They are density. They have a lot of calories, in other words. So you sit down to a bag of nuts, and you can eat a whole bag because you don't get full. You don't have the feeling of fullness. It's not satisfying. So when you're eating these high density foods like nuts, you really want to stick to your portions. Same with nut butters. So really sticking to portions on these high fat, high calorie foods, because sometimes we can overeat and eat too many calories to see weight loss when we overeat on the nuts and nut butters, high calorically dense foods. So I encourage you to stick to serving sizes for nuts and other high calorie foods. So the next thing that might be preventing you from losing weight on a low carbohydrate diet is not sleeping enough. We are not getting enough Z's. We are just trying to do so many things in our days, and we're just not getting enough sleep. And sometimes we may have a sleeping disorder, and I encourage you to get help for that. But let's say that's not the instance, and you're just not setting yourself up for a good night's sleep. I do encourage you to go to bed every night at the same time, having the same bedtime. I encourage not exercising 3 hours prior to your sleep time, because that really keeps us awake. And avoiding caffeine for a lot of people after noon, so after 12 p.m., really cutting down and stopping the caffeine intake will really help you wind down in the evening. And minimizing alcohol, because alcohol tends to disrupt our REM sleep, our deep sleep. So those are a few things you could help with getting good night's sleep. And also a daily bedtime routine really helps, winding down and doing something for about an hour before bedtime that's really relaxing and getting you ready for bed will help with our sleep. It's really important for our overall health, getting about 7 to 9 hours of sleep each night, and not trying to make up for it, for example, on the weekends. So really going to bed at the same time every night of the week. And also when you are tired, you are less motivated. You are feeling sluggish, so you're not going to go exercise. So that will have a spiral effect on your food choices as well. So when we get enough sleep, we're more motivated, we're more energetic, and we're more likely to exercise and make better food choices. So another reason why the low carbohydrate diet might not be working for you is you may be eating too many dairy products. So dairy products have been shown also to spike our insulin levels. It has an amino acid profile that can shoot up our insulin levels just like a white piece of bread. So even though you may feel like you tolerate dairy products, it might not be helping in terms of your weight loss goals. So looking at how much dairy you have in your diet is very important. The next tip is you may not be exercising effectively. So you might be exercising, but it's not effective for weight loss. So it's very important to exercise. It's critical for our mental health and our physical health, and it helps with improving our metabolic health. It increases our muscle mass, and it improves our mood. So in terms of exercise, you want to have a mixture. We want to have a mixture, for example, of HIIT, where you have the cardio and it has a weightlifting combination where you're going to increase your muscle mass, which will help keep off weight also in the long run because that increases our metabolism. You want to do interval training where you have that cardio burst that will boost your metabolism as well, and it raises our levels of human growth hormone, which helps with weight loss. And then you want to have some days where you have low intensity exercise, so where you're active every day, maybe walking on those days or doing yoga. So we need to have the right mixture of exercise when we're trying to lose weight and maintain our weight. So you want to have that mixture of cardio and building muscle mass and then having some low intensity. Another reason why the low carbohydrate diet might not be working for you is that you may have too many sugars in your diet. So agave, honey, coconut sugar, these are all sugars just in different names. So there's over 60 names for sugar. So you definitely want to look at where your sugars are coming from and really minimizing any added sugars. It's just the same as your white table sugar. Another reason why the diet might not be working for you is you may have a medical condition that maybe you have hypothyroidism. And so really talking to your healthcare provider and seeing what you can do for any medical condition that may be preventing you from weight loss. When our hormones are, not healthy, then can really prevent you from weight loss. Maybe you're on a medication that has a side effect of weight gain. So you really want to look at that too and work with your healthcare provider. And first, really rule out any medical conditions if you see that weight loss is not happening and you're really putting in the efforts. So you want to rule out any health condition. I have a few more. Sometimes we are eating too many meals to see weight loss. So it's not necessarily true that you have to have small, frequent meals to see weight loss. Sometimes we need to shorten the amount of time that we're eating. So some people will practice intermittent fasting. It does work for some people, not all people, where they shrink the hours in a day to where they're eating. So maybe an 8-hour window. Some people may practice also a 24-hour fast on occasion, and this helps them. So it's really looking at how many meals and what how frequently you are eating that may be preventing you from weight loss. If you don't see weight loss, you could be possibly eating too many calories. So even though you may be replacing carbohydrates with whole foods and lean proteins and healthy fats, again, if you're not seeing weight loss, your calorie intake may be too high for you. So definitely working with your dietitian on finding that right meal calorie count for you to see weight loss. And when we are eating a low carbohydrate diet, that does help us eat fewer calories even without trying. So definitely work with your dietitian on the calorie, maybe you're eating too many calories, for example. One other reason why a low carbohydrate diet might not be working for you is that your expectations are too high. So we want to lose weight fast, but that is not the way to lose weight, and we set the expectation really high, but we have to have patience, and we have to change our habits, and it does take time, and it does take a lot of trial and error to find out what really works for you in your body and your lifestyle. So setting those expectations too high sometimes is preventing us from weight loss, and then we give up. So really continuing to eat whole, healthy foods, minimizing junk food, and continuing with your exercise is really important, even though you're not seeing weight loss right now, because over time it can happen. It does happen. We have to change just small daily habits and not set the expectation too high, but know that the process does take time and does take trial and error. And it does take consistency and persistence, and just really finding what works for each individual, and that's where it's really important to work with a dietitian. And we have that here at the Lifestyle Program, where we hold you accountable to your health goals. The last tip I wanted to talk about is when you have been restricting your calorie intake for too long or been dieting too long, that can also reduce our metabolism. So sometimes we need to readjust and eat the amount of calories it is just to maintain weight for a while, and then change the calorie account to a deficit for weight loss. So sometimes you have to increase your calories to see weight loss. So that just being always on a diet and always in calorie deficit doesn't always work for weight loss. So we really have to look and fine tune that calorie intake. So these are just a few things about 15 common reasons why a low carbohydrate diet is not working or may not be effective right now for you. And it's really looking at all the factors. But like I said, just keep eating whole, nutritious foods, exercising and movement, and minimizing junk foods and processed foods. And it's a process, and we have to be patient with ourselves. So I hope you can take away some information today from Tuesday's nutrition topic. And we are here at the Whole Lifestyle Program if you need to talk to a dietitian. So that's a wrap for today. We will be back on Friday, like I said, for our cooking demo. Until then, you guys have a wonderful week. Thank you.